There's so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner.
The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark has officially entered its most shocking chapter yet, and the damage could be permanent. The WNBA has just suffered its most devastating blow, and it didn't come from a rival league, a failed marketing campaign, or even a ratings drop. No, this one came from within. Because Caitlin Clark, the player single-handedly responsible for the WNBA's record-breaking rise in viewership, ticket sales, and mainstream attention, is walking away, and not quietly. She's packing her bags for Europe, and what she leaves behind is not just a struggling league, but a league that never deserved her in the first place. This isn't just a bad day for the WNBA. It's a catastrophic one. Caitlin's announcement came like a punch to the gut. A player who had just transformed women's basketball into one of the most talked-about stories in all of sports was now leaving the very league she lifted. The stadiums that once packed in 17...
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
15,000 fans just to catch a glimpse of her now sit in silence, grappling with a future without the one athlete who made people care. And yet, somehow, nobody in the WNBA office seems surprised, or worse, concerned. Caitlin Clark has been the heartbeat of this league. The spark plug. The reason families lined up around the block to get inside arenas that had never even seen a sellout. She changed everything. But when she asked the WNBA to offer spot bonuses for the away teams, because her presence was selling out their home games, the league said no. Let that sink in. She wasn't even asking for more money for herself. She was trying to make sure other players were getting a piece of the pie she helped bake. And still, the league turned its back on her. What did she get in return for being the WNBA's biggest draw? A base salary of just $76,000.
Finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive?
Not per game. Not per month. Per year. This is the same player who led the league in All-Star votes, broke rookie records every other night, and still somehow made every away game feel like a fever home game. And yet, her paycheck doesn't even come close to what players overseas are making, not even in the same solar system. To put it in perspective, Victor Wembanyama, the NBA's latest phenom, signed a 4-year deal worth $55 million as a rookie. Caitlin, she signed for $338,000 over 4 years. That's not just a gap. That's an insult. He'll make in a week what she earns in a year. And yet, it was Caitlin who had the nation's attention, who brought ESPN to its knees begging for broadcast rights, who made history at the draft with a 400% increase in viewership. But the WNBA couldn't be bothered to pay.
Caitlin Clark is the needle. Caitlin is box office.
Caitlin Clark is the star. Everything else is wrapped around her, and everything else is revolving around her. She's Rookie of the Year in the WNBA.
Her like the star she is. And it gets worse. Diana Taurasi, one of the greatest players in women's basketball history, once left the WNBA to play in Russia because the salary gap was so obscene. She was paid $1.5 million to play in Russia, while the WNBA offered her just $117,000. Now history repeats itself, but this time, the consequences are even more dire. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a brand. A movement. A once-in-a-generation phenomenon. And if she's walking away, what message does that send to the next generation? It tells them, don't bother. Even more disturbing is that Caitlin didn't make this decision lightly. She wanted the WNBA to work. She fought for it. She played through the fouls, the bruises, the endless targeting. She never stopped showing up, never stopped giving the game everything she had. But when referees looked the other way as she was hammered night after night, when coaches and players publicly disrespected her, and when the league allowed it to continue, she finally had enough. And who can blame her? Caitlin was never just playing basketball. She was navigating a toxic minefield of racial politics, media spin, and league mismanagement. She was expected to carry the WNBA, elevate everyone around her, and be humble while doing it, all while taking hits that would have gotten an NBA player ejected in seconds. And still, she kept her composure. She kept her head high. She kept scoring. The reality is harsh. Caitlin Clark was the best thing to ever happen to the WNBA, and the league treated her like she was the problem. Some WNBA players, coaches, and media voices went out of their way to paint her as an outsider, to undermine her success, to minimize her accomplishments. They pushed narratives that she was privileged, that she didn't deserve the attention, and that her fans were the real issue. All of this while she was breaking records, lifting teammates, and pouring millions all out the red carpet. The lights will dim. The crowd will roar. And Caitlin Clark will take the court not just as a basketball player, but as a global ambassador for the sport. She'll get the endorsements, the respect, the spotlight, all the things she was denied here. And the WNBA? They'll be left with what's left. The league's own players are following suit. Kelsey Mitchell and Alyssa Smith are off to China. Gabby Williams has been vocal about prioritizing overseas play. The trend is growing. And it's all because the WNBA refuses to evolve, refuses to pay, refuses to protect. Even the league's most loyal supporters are starting to question what's going on. Because you can't keep saying, "This is our league," while ignoring the very player that made people care about it in the first place. You can't say, "Women's sports deserve more," while refusing to pay your best athlete a livable wage. And you can't claim progress while pushing out the one person responsible for it. The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark broke every major rookie record this season, from most points and assists to fastest player to 100 three-pointers. She's the only rookie to ever win Player of the Month and Rookie of the Month in the same month. She's the most voted for All-Star in league history. Her performance wasn't just dominant, it was historic. And she did it all while being underpaid, undermined, and unprotected. So when people say she should have stayed and fought for the league, maybe ask yourself this: what exactly was the league fighting for her? Caitlin Clark is gone. The WNBA let her go. And now they'll have to live with the consequences. What do you think? Should Caitlin Clark have stayed in the WNBA, or did she make the right decision walking away? Can the league survive without her, or is this the beginning of the end? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this historic turning point in sports.